Every once in a while, there comes around an album where it seems like the whole world is praising it, and you also have an interest in checking out the music. Once you listen to the music, you stumble a little bit on how to express yourself. So I had to take a little time. I'm kind of ready now. Magdalene is the second studio album released by FKA Twigs. This is a artist who is like this EDM, obscure R&B-ish type artist. And she makes some interesting music. I don't know if this is the right classification, but it did make me think of this a little bit. It feels like it's kind of going in that very odd alternative route that Bon Iver and James Blake are going for. But because she does have kind of a genre that she actually is going for, it does feel like it doesn't completely align with that idea, but it's like maybe they have like the same starting point and then they just choose on which elements they're going to add later. Now, moving beyond that comparison, this album was definitely an experience. And I mean that both in a positive and still complex and just unsure of what it is I just took in to my system, my soul, my ears. I'm not really sure. I don't dislike this. There isn't things that I feel like I can strongly praise, and I think part of me just comes to the conclusion that this is just something that might not be for me, but that doesn't mean that I have to bash it because of it. As we're winding down the year, this is meeting a lot of best of the year lists I'm finding online just to look at other people's samples. This is one of those albums I feel I can see why other people are praising it, but I don't realistically feel like I'm going to know a lot of people who just listen to this for fun. A lot of the arrangements, a lot of the composition is clever. Enough of the lyrics I do find innovative. I don't think that they're things that I can relate to always. It could be very situational. It could be for an audience that maybe I can't define specifically. It could have been birthed of an inspiration that I don't know if I can comprehend at the moment. I just know that it was comprehensive enough to be able to want to pay attention to, and that I could nitpick elements that I thought were noteworthy, and then others where I felt like, well, I don't know about that, but I'm not put off by it. Let me go through a few of the songs super quick. The one I think had the best production to it was Holy Terrain, and that has Future. It's not a perfect song. It's got like this street feel to it. I mean, like the streets of the city. The song Daybed, I couldn't really find any faults with this song. At the same time, it's not one that I think that I'll turn back to a lot, but I was impressed and also just kind of plainly mesmerized by it. Cellophane has a very interesting, I don't know what you call this, it's like a whistle hush kind of production to it. And if you pay attention to it a little bit too much, it could potentially wind down on your nerves. But I found it very innovative. No one else is going to do something like that. The closest I could think of is Timbaland, but even then it wasn't going to be something he'd do precisely because he has a very particular kind of beatbox quality that will just be added to his songs. I do think my favorite song in here is Mary Magdalene. This just feels like something that if I remotely wanted to recommend something out of this album or kind of get a starting point to talk about it with someone else, I think I would start with this song. It feels like somewhere where I feel like I would potentially have more common ground with another person. I found that the overall mood of this album was like obscurity mixed with dimness, but the quality of the sound was in fact clear. Sometimes the lyrics or the production of the vocals do feel like they're sprinkled with dramatic moments per se, but there's not as many of those moments as the album itself is kind of trying to imply. Now, one thing I did take away from this album after thinking about it for a little bit, it feels like it would be perfectly set for a movie. I don't know what kind of movie, probably like a somber drama of some kind, one that's a little unorthodox perhaps, but I do feel like this album has a place, and I think it could be enhanced if it was given the setting that I could see, or at least given a little bit more to envision. But in a general sense, this isn't something that I feel like I'll turn back to, but at the same time, I would be interested in having conversations with other people as to why they think this is good, because a lot of people do enjoy it. So I'm kind of in a neutral zone at the moment. I don't have any reason nor desire to be so puzzled to be able to create a negative harbored feeling of any kind. I just don't. I just feel, all right, this just is something that you found okay, or that I in fact just feel like, all right, it's music. Somebody out there likes it. That doesn't mean you have to. But once again, if any of you do like this album, I really do want to know the reasons why. So please comment down below in the video. I want to know who out there enjoys this album and why, because I have the curiosity for it. But even though I have taken this position, I do have a rating for it, so let's get to that. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 83%, creativity 75%, expression and lyrics 86%, I'm going to give this album a good. Take that for however you want. That's how I feel about the album currently. I'm going to await any potential commentary about this with others in the future. So lay it on me. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.